So I was eating chana. Chana is chickpea or garbanza. So I was thinking about this thing we say in Guyana. Gan for chana. Yeah, I'll type it in the comment. What gan for chana mean? Where you say, man, she gone for chana or that gone for chana. What I mean? Well, hello and welcome. This is what the story say. How y'all doing? Come in, sit down, loud talk story. Well, all of this week was very nice. I'm going to start back school tomorrow, actual teaching day. Vacation time is over. Now, this last month or so, I've been doing this detoxing, drinking my herbs, drinking my bitters, and so because I had a riotous time. I had a riotous time in Australia, eating all kinds of things. And you know, back in the village, when it's time to go back to school, you got to clean out. So I did the clean out. But my diet has been pretty interesting. I ate a lot of chana. And I was eating this chana, and if you want to know how I get my topics to talk about, just the things I do, and I would start thinking about stuff, and one thing leads to the other. So I was eating chana. Chana is chickpea or garbanza. So I was thinking about this thing we say in Guyana. Gan for chana. Yeah, I'll type it in the comment. What gan for chana mean? Where you say, man, she gone for chana or that gone for chana. What I mean and where I come from. And I was thinking to myself, maybe this gone for chana business comes from how we live, you know, our lifestyle. Now, when you're in elementary school and high school, as far as I remember, primary school and so, they have the vendors who used to sell outside the school. And you can go and you can buy chana, 5 cents chana, 10 cents chana, whatever. And if it's at Anglican school, outside the school, you had Pinte and these different people. And they get brown paper and they would scoop up some chana and give it to you. Now, some chana does roll, right? That's a good chana. Just roll. And then you have some chana that nice and moist and fat and fluffy. That don't roll. But I can imagine as a child, if your chana roll out of paper, it gone in the ground, you can't pick it up, right? You can't eat it. But I guess some people nasty. They say where they grow a dog one and then let's pick up and eat them. Yeah. And they say when I kill you, it's a flatten you. When I kill you, it's a fatten you. You know that kind of picnic them there. But I was thinking that maybe when people had the chana and the chana roll out the paper, they say gone for chana. Well, let us extrapolate that to the bigger context of life. When you fail at something, you're gone for chana. Well, this gone for chana led me down the path to think, what kinds of situations lend themselves to this saying, gone for chana? And so I bring you a story. I'm looking at Guyanese folklore and what's in the lore that can tell us about the social milieu of bygone days. You see, there's a little bit of a lie that's being told in our society. Every modern era gets to hear this thing. Long time. Not been like a nowadays. Them even get a song they used to sing. Long time you get dirty dam, now you get a concrete road. Long time been a flambeau lamp, now you get electric light. Yeah, you know them, you know the song. So them compare the past era with the modern era, and they will tell you what the modern things are. Sometimes it's told to you in a way that you feel like your generation up to no good. And the past generation was the best generation, always so in hindsight, right? But as I'm looking at the lore, I'm beginning to think that these people lie. The long time people or the old people, them lie. It's a myth. It's a myth. People are the same. Yes, they are the same. So let me dig into the story for today. Are you buckle up? So let me see, get my glasses and see what I have written down here for you. Because, you know, I prepare it, you know. Now, like I said, social norms of bygone days grabbed my attention. And my research is a lot about women and women's issues, women and girls. It's just the thing that I've been drawn to, and that's what I've written about. I had written about Bostonian women. That's what I researched for my dissertation. So it's on my heart, right? But I've been fascinated by folk songs or folklore about women and girls for a long time. And in this section, I think I want to call it, Who Asked the Questions? Who asked the questions? Well, first of all, have you heard of this game, 20 Questions? Where friends will sit down together and ask each other questions, 20 questions until you get to know the person really well. Well, I started thinking about it, but I didn't get very far with that. You know, when you want to get to know each other, you ask questions. And that's innocent, right? Yeah. But here in this case, and I'm going to tackle today, it's a little bit deeper. It involves a lot of questioning. And it leaves me with more questions. 20 more questions. Yeah. Yeah. So in Guyanese lore, there's a female. She's very popular. She next to popular when it comes to satire, but not quite popular. But her name is Janey. When I think about Janie, I think that Janie could be of any ethnicity in Guyana. She could be East Indian, she could be black, she could be mixed, she could be Portuguese, she could be anything, right? So she has this generic name. So we're not going to put her into any kind of a ethnic group, right? She's every girl. And from the lore, Janie is in trouble. My nose shine. Yes. I crack up itself up. Janie is in trouble, and you can hazard a guess. She's a young girl. I want to think that she's a teens or preteens or a young adult, and she finds herself pregnant. Okay? So I got to teach you a couple of things if you're not Guyanese. You're going to hear this word, ow. You see, ow is attended in statements to show empathy or to highlight something or to chide, that means to scold, or to upbraid, as we say. So for example, if I see something like let's just say I cook food and put it in the house and my brother come and eat out all the food, I'm going to say, oh bye. You don't get no manners, oh bye. You say you go do, you eat all the food. That means I'm upbraiding him. But if he hurt his foot, I say, oh bye. How you feel? You see? Empathy. So in this story, I'm going to use the word ow. And I'm going to also ask you to participate at a certain point in this story. Let's dive into this popular folk song, folk tale that I'm going to talk about in terms of its importance or to unpack it, right? I don't have all the answers. You're going to have to give me some answers. So there's this young girl called Janie. And as the story goes, there's a narrator who's describing Janie. We know Janie is young. We know she's young. And we know she's pretty. The thing go, oh, Janie Gyal, nice gyal like you. Let me give you the whole scenario, right? When I give a line, you got to say Janie Gyal. When I say one line, you got to say Janie Gyal in the African tradition of call and response. So, me go say, oh, Janie Gyal, nice gyal like you. Mama send you a school. So we get the scenario, right? Janie is of school age. She nice. But you see this nicest girl like you? It's not just a compliment, you know. It's a thing to show she come down from the niceness. Something happen. Janie fall. She make she hand fall. She make she mama hand fall. Nice girl like you. Mama send you a school. For what? For go learn the rule. Let's go back in the bygone days. What is this rule they're talking about? Well, back in the day, they used to say you go to school for learn the 3 R's. Reading, writing, and arithmetic. 3 R's. Me never could understand how 3 R's could be reading writing arithmetic. Me say arithmetic, but it's a R. And then they play on the word writing. Not the W, the R, right? Yeah, you get it. Janie's supposed to go and learn for read and write proper. But nice gyal like you, Janie gyal. Mama send you to school, Janie gyal. For go learn the rule, Janie gyal. Now this is where the plot thickens. Hey, the thing say, put on your woman shoes. Janie go put on woman shoes. That means Janie turn like a big woman. Janie start to smell herself, as they say. Janie force ripe, as they say. You're not quite ready for adulting, but you're not quite child. So Janie on the cusp, right? The things that she put on, she woman shoes. Now, I can go with a little bit of empathy for Janie, because in this puberty years, you know, this changing in the pubescent years into young adulthood is rough on girls and boys. You know, it's a time when they're changing into adults and the hormones are raging and they're not quite themselves. They're finding their feet. They're like little calves trying to catch themselves and stand up. So as they would say, you smell yourself, your force ripe, and things like that. So Janie put on she woman shoes. And here's the next part. You lay down with the man, Janie gyal. So let me start from the top. Oh, Janie gyal, Janie gyal. Nice gyal like you, Janie gyal. Mama send you to school, Janie gyal. Fugolan the rule, Janie gyal. Put on your woman shoes, Janie gyal. Lay down with your man, Janie gyal. And that what Janie gyal end up in? But you see them old people this would make young people for think say them thing is nowadays thing. Lie. All as the hills, they will do them too. Because you see this particular story, yeah? Me grew up, I hear the story. Me granny hear the story. Baba A.U.C. Quine is one of the oldest people in the village. He know the story. My cousin Vadney, 112 at 13 going batting. She know the story. This story old. But they would make out as if Janie gyal are the worst thing ever. But that is the story they say. She don't with the man. So now the plot thickens. So here is where I'm having the problem. Okay? So what comes next? We understand that the cohabiting happen. And when you're there cohabiting, and Janie gyal left herself slack, as they say, or she makes herself grass, as they say, and ask her eat you, then Janie get into problems. She get into the family's way. So the song say, now the belly come. They say, heist the belly come. So some of them will say, heist the belly come. Oh, Janie gyal, heist the belly come. That means you're coming with a big belly, right? Now Janie in trouble. This is where I say she gone for China. She gone down the drain, she gone through, right? According to them. Now, I get a lot of questions. You know, at this point where Janie finds herself, or from the time you get this nice gyal, me only hear them narrate she story. Nice gyal like you, mama send you to school and so. But I don't hear any other kind of narrative. What have they said to Janie before she got to school? Did they talk to her? Did they explain to her the birds and the bees? Sometimes they did, sometimes they didn't. And village life, they'll say you, no. You must say no. But they never tell you when you like the buy or what you're supposed to do. They're not telling you nothing, right? So, I have empathy for girls who find themselves in these predicaments. For another reason, I'm going to share the reason with you. But let's go through the whole thing. Now, the questions are asked. Or this supposition is put in your head. I wonder where the daddy there. Janie gyal. First time, I wonder where the daddy there. Rightly so. Because the father got to take responsibility. And then the next part say, who I go mind him now? Who gonna mind this picnic? You see them two though? Those two questions? I have so many more questions to ask. Now who gonna mind them? You know, who gonna stand with she with the pains? Who will bring a cup of water for she? Who gonna knight she foot when she foot swell? Put a pause in it. Me never make picnic. So, if we get these questions wrong, I tell me. Right? But me know these things from seeing these things, right? Who will get your little ginger tea when she vomit? Me hear them questions that I can ask so many questions. Are you ask the question? Y'all who make children, ask the questions. Especially if you had found yourself like Janie Gyal with a unprepared pregnancy, you know, and things like that. What are the questions you ask, you know? Things like that. It also brings to mind the father that's missing. Where is this father? Janie Gyal, they up at the lantern post like a brick bottle. I wonder where the daddy they. I will go mind them now. Ice your belly come. She they up there. And them a stone she like a brick bottle. She stored up on lantern post, as it say in Guyana. Yes. As if nobody else na get belly. But when I said Janie right, me just look at Janie with empathy. Oh, Janie Gyal. Me can look at it another way. Your mama spend all the money upon you. Oh, Janie. Oh, for me. All the money me spend, all the money invest in you. Oh, sympathy for me. Right? Or for the adult, they all can go different ways, right? And you know in Guyana, when you see a child gets pregnant under age, let me tell you something, we're in a Guyanese. They just holler like a first night crowd, you think they can get dead. They go ball down the place, oh, me mama. Look what this girl come to, look at me distress. I said, them I say, no, they were ball out. In some cultures I've lived in, they will welcome this baby. See, Palau? Hey? Like the more them bring baby, the more the grandparents them are welcome. There's someone sang, they're going to be sung over there. Nah, they not do that day. But in Guyanese culture, that's how they just do it. So the questions fly. Who go support the child? A song just came to mind that they sing. Salmon's demand for the picnic money. Salmon's demand, salmon's demand, salmon's demand for the picnic money. Salmon's demand, salmon's demand, salmon's demand till you find the right one. Salmon's demand. That's a response to. This song means that the girl can take action in the court of law to get child support. But let's return to the story where they're asking who is going to, you know, help her with this baby and how is she going to find the father. These are questions. The narrator does not supply an answer, and here's my take on that. I know these are rhetorical questions. They're not meant to provide an answer. They're meant to provoke thought. And when they provoke thought, I start to think of the 20 questions or the 18 more questions I can ask about Janie Gyal when you want to say oh about single mothers, because not just the belly, you know, it's after the belly, the living and so on. Janie's life is messed up, it's interrupted. But I know girls who got pregnant early and it did interrupt their lives, but their parents insist that they make something of themselves. So they went to commercial, they went to different places, they got higher education, and they come out fine. But I want to flip the script. Let me go to Georgie. Georgie. I want to say, oh, Georgie, bye. Your mama send you to school, Georgie, bye. For go learn the rule, Georgie, bye. You put on your man's shoes. You not been put on your jacket. I don't want to say the word pan here. You know, put on your French letter. You lay down there with your woman, Janie. Now the belly come. I wonder what you gonna do. Who are gonna mind them now? You don't get work? You are not working millionaire. Working with the hormones. What you gonna do now? You see, when we look at this now, and we implicate the male, we can see the deep ramifications. Because one of the mistakes we make, we think that the women err, the girls err, but we don't think that these guys are just as much in the dilemma as the females. The females, perhaps I want to say, feel it more because they're the ones carrying the pregnancy. They're the ones whose bodies have to change. But I don't feel that some of these boys or young men go away unscathed. They're worried too. They now impregnate somebody's daughter. Parents are hating off on them. Some of them that are frightened that the girl daddy will come and beat them up. All kind of thing. Some guys had to leave school and go work and make money to give to the girl. It hijacked their lives prematurely, right? So now they become child father. Just George, you know, but no George, he's a child father. Right? Just Jane's a child mother. And then sometimes Georgie now is pressured to marry Janey. Now, first of all, he's an unprepared father. She's an unprepared mother. And now they want to make them unprepared husband and wife. Some people say, good for them. If you play man and woman, you're supposed to get married. There is that too. But then you have cycles that ensue. And so you get parental responsibilities come into fore with brains that aren't quite developed. These are teens, you know, 18, 17, 16. And for boys, they say the frontal lobes don't close until males. The frontal lobes don't close until they're 27 years old. So you're playing with stuff here with people with undeveloped brains. Granted that some people are more mature than others, and I know in some cultures people marry very, very early, but if you dig beneath the surface of those cultures, a lot of problems there. Or sometimes you have cultures that support young marriages. They have a whole system, generations of working that system. I've got some East Indian friends who told me that they married early, and when they tell me the expectations and how the system supports or not, I quite admire them. Really, I do. And stuff like that. Yes, and you know, when I was thinking about the story, a song came to my mind for Janie. And I think it's going to be equally the same to consider for Georgie, this fictional boy. You know, Madonna sang a song that says, Papa, don't preach, I'm in trouble deep. Papa, don't preach, I've been losing sleep. It tells me that the young girl, she knows what happens. This is not something that happened in a dream. It's as real as it can get. And she losing sleep. You look at Georgie in a different light. I want to do now. Suppose Georgie is a step sibling, even a sibling. God forbid a stepfather, an uncle, a grandfather, even a father. Yeah, these people interfere with young girls like Janie and get them in the family's way. So when you ask, I wonder where the daddy there, and Janie not talk, she not answer. Sometimes the mother asks she, picnic can't say her father. Picnic can't say, is your husband? No. These things are deep. And these are stories that happened long ago in our communities. You know, I remember my grandmother talking about some young girl. The mother used to make her do all the housework. She cleaning, cooking, she making pound, she baking. This girl can run this family. And then she got to carry food a back down to her stepfather. This girl working hard in the house. The stepfather gives you whatever she want, clothes, everything. When she mother no one sends she out with your friends them, and so you go intercede for her. The time we don't know, say yes, stoops the little girl. He there with the mother and he there with the girl. Them these are real stories, but you don't hear them very much. Or people whisper about them. Those are the whispered stories. The darker side of villages, of nations, of communities that we don't talk about. So when we sing the lore, especially in our village, and in Guyana. We are talking about these deeper issues, and today in this current society, these stories are bubbling to the surface. You just have to listen to the politics of the day. And you hear these stories and you say, oh bye, oh gyal. But they're not old tales. So what can I say? Where do we go from here? Sometimes you have to take a step back and examine some of the stories you carry with you in terms of your culture, your folklore, your folk tales, your folk songs, and ask what lessons are they teaching. And as a child, I never thought of these stories this way at all. You know, you sing like everybody else, oh Janie, Gyal, and so you just sing it. And I never ask those questions. But in my quiet moments now, I am thinking about these things and ask, what lesson does this have for young girls? Young girl, if you're in a situation, you're not alone, you're not the first, you're not the last. Single mothers have made it hard and rough as it is. Young boy, you're not alone. You can make it, support the girl and things like that. Sometimes it's unfortunate. It's an adult, big men, teachers, all of this stuff. And then they say the girl hot. She's a hot and she big woman. And now they say the girls, they're going after the guys. People, society has changed. But I don't know that it's so different from long ago. You know, look at the story in the Bible of Ruth and Naomi. Ruth mother-in-law tells she, go look man, lay down on the man feet tonight. Let the man see you. She put she out there, she pimp she out. But it's in the Bible. And I study the Bible as literature as well as scripture. So these things are not new at all. You get one guy now who come for one girl, and because she was the younger one, did I say you can't get, she take the older one. When we say back in these days, it's a pimp she out. But back in those days, that kind of thing was happening. Girls were peddled that way. And that's scripture. So, what can I say? Take what you can from this story. This is just my thoughts on this issue. And I'm going to address another issue. This one is not from Guyana. So I'm going to delve into that in this sitting because I have a full week ahead of me. And I might not get a chance to sit down to do this. So buckle up and talk the things and yeah, walk good.